All right then, well, hello and welcome everyone to the Best Retro Games channel. We're going to play some games and we're going to take our time with it. We're just going to be very calm and chilled out and enjoy ourselves with no drama, no shouting. Just nostalgia all the way. Look at that. I'm going to try as far as possible to use some original hardware to play these games. You can see I'm using a relatively old, relatively contemporaneous cathode ray television with VHS built in. And it's making all sorts of good noises that remind me of my childhood. As is the original PlayStation 1 that's on the deck below there. It's making lots of strange squeaky, creaky noises, but it seems to be in working order, so we'll do our best to enjoy ourselves. The game that we are going to begin with is my absolute favourite from when I was a kid. It's really the game that got me into games, which is why I chose it. It's Final Fantasy VIII, not the famed classic Final Fantasy VII, but the I think much maligned little brother Final Fantasy VIII, which has never sort of given quite the same credence as an artistic masterpiece, but I loved it. I really did. I remember I rented it from a sort of film and game rental store in my local town when I was a kid, and took it home for the 3 or 5 days or whatever it was, and played a bit of it and just thought, this is so wonderful. And obviously I had to give it back after a few days, and I was gutted because there was so much of it. I'd barely started, so I rented it for another 3 or 5 days, and another, and another, and another. And after a while, I'd spent so much renting it, I could have just bought it. And I think I did eventually buy it on Platinum, as you can perhaps see here, the PlayStation Platinum certificate. They had some well-selling, well-performing games that were re-released with that silvery platinum label at the bottom. And they were £20, I remember it well. So they'd re-release good and well-liked games as kind of cheap classics and give everyone the chance to play them. It's a good little scheme. I bought a ton of games that way. And this was really one of my favourites. Like I say, one of the best things about it is the music and the sound, and I'm going to try not to ruin it too much by talking over it, but the score by Nobuo Uematsu is amazing. Also, the way that it's presented to us is pretty wonderful, I think. In very early gaming systems, the Nintendo 8-bit systems and stuff, you had 4 channels of chip-based synthesis. You had a sine wave, a square wave, a triangle wave, whatever, and a noise channel, and you had to fit all the musical information into those. You encoded them in those. It was a huge advancement in the technology of this game and games of its generation, where you could actually encode quite a lot of MIDI data into the game. We still were working with pretty limited data space on this is a 4-disc game, but 700 megabytes per disc. You could get quite a lot of info onto the disc. You still couldn't put tons of audio files on there, as we'll discover. No voice acting at all in this game, I think. But you could put a lot of MIDI data because it's a bit cheaper. So then you include a MIDI library, a library of musical instrument data interface, I think is MIDI. You include the information for an orchestra of different instruments and tell the machine which ones to play at which time. So you're sort of calling up the music live from a set of sounds, and as you can hear, they're not especially realistic, but they have a certain sort of pseudo-realistic charm, I think. Look at that, 1999. Final Fantasy VIII. If you'd asked me to guess, I would have said it was 98. But maybe the original version came out in Japan in 98 or something. I'm not sure. Anyhow, here we are at the start screen. Final Fantasy V111. We're going to start a new game and enjoy another cinematic sequence. One of the things that blew me away more than any other at the time were the visuals in this game. And by today's standards, they are primitive. But I remember at the time I had never seen anything this realistic in a video game. I just thought it was wonderful. I mean, that water is at the level, at least, of any film that was out at the time. This was 1999, so it was sort of 4 or 5 years after Pixar released Toy Story, the first fully CG animated movie, feature film. But it was pretty uncommon to see sophisticated CGI cinematic graphics like this, especially featuring human characters, relatively realistic human characters like this. And I just thought it was wonderful. But not to mention the art direction. And again, this is a matter of taste. I'm sure some people would find this all terribly kind of impressionistic and cheesy, but as a child and still now, I really loved all these kind of hyper beautiful, hyper intense romantic visuals. The feather floating up, the sky becomes stormy and it comes down as a blade. What does that represent? 8-year-old children? Well, you'll find out through the course of the game. I just think it's wonderful, intense and dramatic. So here we see some of the relevant story points happening. Some of the characters clashing and setting up their relationships for the events to come. But more than anything here, we're just getting a taste of the art direction of the world, the way that these incredibly heightened visuals are going to inform our experience. And really, seriously, you know, a few years prior to this, I was playing Super Mario and Street Fighter on SNES, and the advance from that to this in terms of graphics and cinematicness was really quite remarkable, if you can imagine it. I really think there was more progress made in that regard in those sort of 5 years than have been made in the last 20 in video games, because games from 20 years ago look better than this, but not much better than this, and they don't look a sort of total class change from games now. Games now just are that much more detailed and sophisticated and powerful. But, you know, that said, obviously there's some limitations to the realism here. You can see some of the characters are a little bit plasticky and a little bit lacking in fine detail, but that's why we're playing on a little old CRT, so that we can't be too upset about the details. Is it struggling a little bit? There was a bit of patchiness in the audio there. Who knows, there may be glitches as we proceed through our fun journey here. We'll just have to wait and see, won't we? And there may even be total crashes. You just never know, but not right now. Here we are then. Lovely sort of 4 frames a second animation on that curtain. Dr. Kadowaki asks, how are you feeling? Okay, I guess. Take it easy next time you're here. I'm probably not going to read out every line of dialogue. It looks like your eyes are focusing. You should be fine. Say your name for me. I remember this, right? This is a sort of funny little quirk. You were able to name the main character whatever you wanted, because they're not going to be reading it out in any of the dialogue, because there isn't any dialogue, no voice acting, like I said. So they just will put your name into the game. It's all good fun. But it always seemed weird to me, because that character is not me. It's Squall. So we're going to just go with the character's own name, I think. I just wanted to also point out that obviously the graphics in-game are quite a lot less detailed and high resolution and wonderful than in the cutscenes, but we'll try not to be put off by that. Next time you might not be so lucky. Tell that to Cypher. That Cypher won't listen to anyone. So, bad guy already. Why don't you ignore him? I can't just run away. I like also that it's setting up like this schoolyard bully situation. This game is quite sort of multifaceted, multi-generational, I think, because it's a big fantasy epic, but it's also just a little kind of schoolyard nonsense. I like it. You want to be cool, huh? Well, don't get hurt in the process. Let's see. Your instructor is Quistis. I'll call her that. I love the suspense. Like the doctor's like, oh, who is it? Who is it? Oh yeah, I remember. Quistis. I'll call her now. Just wait here a minute. Footsteps, footsteps. Quistis, come get your student. Yes, yes, injury's not serious. Probably leave a scar. Right, now please come by. And we get this lovely intro cinematic for Quistis. But first, yeah, I remember this as well. This is very confusing on a first playthrough. Squall, so we meet again. You imagine as the player that is Quistis. And you're like, why is the teacher saying, so we meet again? But it's not the teacher, as we will discover later. It's Squall seeing someone he didn't expect to see. So here's Quistis. And again, just a very lovely, directed intro. Bit of quite simple animation to emote that she's fed up with seeing Squall in trouble constantly. Honestly, Squall. I knew it would be either you or Cypher. See, she knew. Come on, let's go. Today's the field exam. Guy's had his face sliced open with a 5-foot blade, and she's not particularly bothered, is she? It's just the kind of world that we're living in. So, here we are, my first opportunity to control the character. Doo-doo-doo. Right, is there something on your mind? Nah, I'll just keep walking. Not really. Ha 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 ha. What's so funny? She's just happy. I feel like I'm beginning to understand my student a little, that's all. I'm more complex than you think. Then tell me. Tell me more about yourself. One of the things about Squall that's sort of interesting and a bit annoying, if I'm honest, is he's this like incredibly brooding, teenager-y sort of grump. It's none of your business. Ha 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 ha. They're finishing each other's sentences. Chemistry, chemistry. Anyway, here we walk into another nice little cinematic sequence. Seamlessly from the gameplay. To introduce Baland Garden, the school. Sort of giant military academy with a floating power halo of some kind. It's all very magical, very romantic, like I say. It's lots of colours, lots of beautiful music. Listen to that. Some sort of flute and harp. Good morning, class. Another thing about the MIDI music, by the way, before I press X to carry on. The music sounds the way it does because of the built-in MIDI library in the PlayStation hardware, but the PC version of this game and other versions of this game used the same MIDI data encoded for the music to draw on resources from different MIDI libraries. So you had slightly different instrument sounds on PC and on other places, so that you would get the same notes at the same speed in the same order, but with just a different balance and different mix, and it's really weird. And I've heard a few of them, and it just freaks me all the way out because I'm so used to the way it sounds on the PlayStation. So thank you for listening. That is all. Good morning, class. Let's start with today's schedule. Quistis. There seem to have been some rumours flying around since yesterday. Yes, the field exam for seed candidates will begin later this afternoon. Maybe I am going to read out every line, who knows? Those not participating and those who failed last week's written test are to remain here in study hall. Field exam participants will have free time until the exam. Just be sure you're in top condition. Meet in hall at 1600 hours. I'll announce the team assignments there. Any questions? Oh, and Cypher. There he is, looking indolent. Do not injure your partner while training. Be careful from now on. I don't think it was a lack of care. I think it was a evil pulling wings off flies nasty child syndrome. We all know Squall wasn't to blame. Look at him, petulant. Slamming his 4-pixel fist on the desk. Field exam participants, I will see you all later. And Squall, I need to talk to you. So we're going to run out of the little desk cluster, across to the other preloaded background, and go up and say hello. Talk to some of these. Oh, no, they're walking away. You haven't been to the fire cavern yet, have you? You won't be able to take part in today's seed exam if you don't pass this prerequisite. I was going to go this morning, but Cypher. Those thinky bubbles are transparent and darker grey. It's interesting how they convey information in games like this. There's different sort of user interface methods. It's quite nice. So, do you have a good excuse? Not really. Then let's get going. If you're not too confident yet, you can review your studies at the study panel. I'll be waiting at the front gate. I love that. Just as if someone would say it with the brackets, a sort of different voice, because it's an official place in the game. So come down when you're ready. You can access the study panel from your seat. I'm going to stop doing that now as well. It'll get annoying after 5 seconds, won't it? So, nice little door opening noise as well. Lovely. So I'm going to go to my desk and look at the study panel. Oh, fiddly. X to sit down. Partly just to see it, but also turn on the power and... also because I happen to know that there's something worth getting in here. So we can find out a bunch of stuff. We might look at this stuff in a bit more detail later on, but let's start by just pressing on the tutorial. New. Log in, Squall, confirmed. GF data for Squall. This is Guardian Forces. These are the special monsters that fight on your behalf. And Squall already has 2 registered. GF Quetzalcoatl, GF Shiva. And this again, part of the kind of lore and world building. Something I find quite interesting about Final Fantasy games in general is they've got these kind of elements in common across the series. There's whatever, 15, 16 games now, not including all the sequels and whatnot. Each of them is distinct. It's not the same world, but there's things that all the worlds have in common, like these GFs, Guardian Forces, or in other games I think they're called like Aeons and stuff. These monsters that fight on your behalf, they have some in common across the worlds. And there's like there's a guy called Sid in all of the games, I think, and it's just interesting. It sort of ties them together in a non-obtrusive way, makes them feel like they're part of something bigger. So here we are. Let's keep the the names. Quetzalcoatl. Is that an Aztec thing or an Inca thing, a Maya thing? Forgive me, I don't know. Some sort of Central South American god, Quetzalcoatl. Mayan, I think. And Shiva, which is the name of a Hindu god, I believe, but I don't think it's depicted in this game very authentically. We'll see that in a moment. The tutorial covers all aspects of gameplay. The tutorial can also be accessed through the regular menu at any time during the game. I'm going to try not to subject you as a viewer to lots of tutorial and particularly the sort of grinding that may happen later on in the game. I'm going to go out and sort of fight some monsters eventually and level up a bit, and I probably won't make you sit through that, but we'll just see that it exists for now. So controls, battle, online help. Online help. That's interesting because it's not like an online game. PlayStation 1 was not internet connected. I suppose that's just, yeah, just some detail. Yeah, GF junction. The whole junction system in this game is interesting as well, but maybe we'll talk about that a bit when we come to it later on. Card game, I'm going to enjoy that as well. Written tests, yeah. So we've got a load of information. We're not going to worry about it much right now because I vaguely remember how the game works and you don't care, I expect. So there we go, lots of stuff. And like I say, I think we'll come back and read some of these sections later on. But for now, let's go and visit the fire cavern as our necessary prerequisite to the SEED exam. SEED being the student paramilitary organisation that we're supposed to want to join at this academy. So, out we go. And into the corridor. Running, running, running. And I think we bump into someone here, don't we? Yeah, you see, these memories just stick with you. I'm late, I'm late. Where? Squall wouldn't ask, are you okay? He's very stoic. There. Sorry, I was kind of in a hurry. Oh yeah, hey, did you just come from that class? Is registration over? Oh no! Dramatic. This place is so much bigger than my last garden. Oh, hey, hey. I just transferred here. Do you think you could give me a quick tour of this garden? Sure. He's sort of stoic and quiet, but he's not a jerk, I think. Woohoo! All right, let's go. We'll take the lift to the first floor lobby and I'll show you the directory. There's another little nice little UI system where, you know, exposition to the player. You can either pretend that the player character is a noob or a, you know, maniac or waking up from amnesia, or you can have them explain things to someone else. And either way, the person playing the game gets to figure out what's going on. We're just going to talk to this guy because he's going to give us some cards. My brother gave me these cards. What? How do you play a card game? I think it'd be best to look at the explanation. Again, we'll cover that at some point. I think the card game is really good fun in this. But only in as much as you like to collect the cards and win. I don't like playing the game very much. Especially, I mean, you can lose and that's a tragedy. So, I like to play if only to win. So, here we are on the first floor with our mystery new student following behind. I don't know if it is a mystery, certainly not to anyone who's played the game before. That's the directory. There we go. Well, this is it. Balam Garden is pretty big. It's a good idea to check where you want to go and select it here. I have a question. How do you use this? Move the cursor and press X to select. Next, I'll give a quick explanation of the various facilities. Yes, sir. You'll find the dormitory to the north. The majority of the students live in the dorms. There aren't too many students who commute. Yeah, I'm in the dorms too. You can rest and change in there. Boarding school, man. Like, it's such a good storytelling facility, a boarding school, because you get all these sort of really illogical, moody, dysregulated people thrown together and put under pressure by lessons and other issues. And yeah, anyway, you can rest and change in there. West of the North Block is the cafeteria. There's always a big rush for the hot dogs. You better get used to waiting in line. Got it. East of the North Block is the car park. We usually take the garden car when a mission comes up. The front gate is located to the south. That's right, he thinks, on a transparent background. I have to go meet Instructor Trep at the front gate. What's the matter? Nothing. I was just thinking. That thing in shows and stuff where someone goes off into a fantasy and then they snap back to it and no one ever asks them, like, hey, where were you for the last 3 minutes? We were carrying on our conversation. Anyway, next we have the quad, located in the West Block. There's an event being planned there. I know, it's the Garden Festival. It's going to be great. I'm planning to be on the committee. You want to help out too? Let's just continue. South of the West Block is the infirmary. This is where you get treated for your injuries, but a lot of students just come here for advice. Good old Dr. Kadowaki. They also go there to play cards, as we'll discover later. She's an absolute shark. What's the doctor's name? Dr. Kadowaki. I just said that, see? I could be Squall. Now the East Block. I'm starting to identify with the protagonist already. Now the East Block. This is the training centre. It's the only facility open at night. It's used for training, and they have real monsters running loose here. If you don't take it seriously, you may end up dead. Just be careful. Gulp, okay. South of the East Block is the library. There's a lot of material you can look up here, but the terminals in the classroom are a lot more efficient. And you already know about the classroom on the second floor, right? Yep, I remember that one. By the way, the headmaster's office is located on the third floor. You need permission to get in. Another question, what's the headmaster's name? Headmaster Sid. And then every player of previous Final Fantasy games goes, hey, Sid. That's about it. Anything else? Got it. Oh, don't know what's happening with my voice. It's quite early in the morning here in sunny Sweden. My name's George, by the way. I'm going to be making these videos just very casually and having a good time. Hey, are you taking today's seed exam? Yeah? Then maybe I'll see you again later. I've already finished my training at my previous garden. I'm taking the seed exam too. Today, too. Good luck to both of us, huh? Thanks a lot. See ya, Selfie. We'll find out later that her name is Selfie. Not Selfie. This was before that. But Selfie. Selfie with a PH, not an F. Right, so here's our first save game point. Let's use it. Access the menu and select save to save your game. I think we press circle to access the menu. Yes, we do. And then we go down to save. And we've been playing for 28 minutes already. Goodness me. Time just flies when you're enjoying yourself, doesn't it? Unused block. I cleared a bit of space on my old memory card before we started, just to make sure. So there we are. Squall, level 7. We've got 5,000 G, gil, I think is the name of the currency in this game for some reason. 5,000 of them we've got. Sounds good, doesn't it? Right then, back we go. And now, we've played this much. No one can take it away from us. Right, so, I wonder what we should do next. Should we go straight to the front gate and meet Instructor Trep? Or should we go back up to the classroom and look at some of the information? No, let's go straight ahead and meet Instructor Quistis Trep. Because I feel ready. I don't know about you. Fella at the gate there. Every single year you get troublemakers entering. Oh, how I enjoy scolding them. Good. So that's reception. We need to go through the out here. Very good. And now we're in the sort of the grounds. And we're all the way in the distance. Great scope in this game. Oh, hello, they're chatting and we can sort of eavesdrop if we want to. Yeah, sure. Where should we go? They were going for lunch, I think. What about that new place where they serve that sweet stuff? Sounds good to me. Yeah, but that was something. Yeah, well, whatever. I'm going to chat to this fella. I've got a weird feeling that this person plays cards. Nice breeze, beautiful sun. I think I'll just... What? Oh, sleeping. Right. Good. I'm going to try and play cards with this person by pressing square. Excellent breeze, great day for cards. Want to play me at cards? Yeah. And we've been given, I think, 5 or 6 really rubbish cards, and we can just give it a try. And no big deal if we lose, because we're only losing rubbish little free cards. So, rules, open. I think that means that we can see each other's cards. And trade rule 1, if you win the game, you get to take one of the other player's cards. One of the things about the card game that isn't so good in this game, I think, is that as the main story of the game progresses, you travel to different lands in the game and pick up different rules, and supposedly that makes the card game more interesting and evolves as you go. But there are 1 or 2 rules that just totally ruin it. Like, I think there's one where your cards get selected at random from your collection instead of you being able to choose good ones. So that just makes it really tough to actually win, for example. Anyway, we're going to play for now. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 rubbish level 1 monster cards. So let's just pick. The ones that are best tend to be the ones with... Oh, look at that animation. With the numbers on corners like next to each other. So look, Gizzard here is powerful to the left and to the right, but not from the top or the bottom. So if you put it more or less anywhere on the board, you're exposing a 1. Whereas if you've got this Fungua, you can put it in the bottom right corner and you've got a 5 and a 3 facing. We'll see how the game works as we play it. Anyway, I don't need to over-explain. So let's start with this one. 5 and a 4, that's good. Yeah. Caterpillar. Caterpillar. I think we'll have Gala. And shall we have Redback just for that 6 in case it comes in handy? Are you sure? Yeah, kind of. Oh dear, they look quite powerful, those ones. So what shall we do? Let's start with... I think anything I do, they can get me with one of those 6s or 7s. So maybe I just start off with something sort of open, and then I can maybe win it back later. Okay. So what now? I'm not very good at this, by the way, so please don't be annoyed in the comments. Playing games generally, like video games or card games, I sort of... oh, that's good for me, because they've just sacrificed quite a useful card to... Yeah, let's have that one back, shall we? Sorry, I'm just thinking about whether I can turn 2 at a time, and I can't. But I can have that one. I suppose I could, yeah, that would be quite intelligent of me to try and actually turn over more than 1 at once, wouldn't it? But I'm not that intelligent, this is my point. I'm sort of a bit of a moron. Oh no, you see, now I'm done. I'm blown, I lose. Yeah, my brain, I'll admit immediately, my brain works in a very slow and single thread kind of a way, and I think I'm reasonably intelligent on a sort of general level. I can think through a problem and solve it given enough time. But when it comes to playing games like that, where you have to sort of hold a couple of different bits of information in your head and think about them relatively quickly, I'm just terrible at it. So apologies if that really annoyed you. I'm sure there were lots of really much better moves to make, but I don't think about them in the heat of the moment. So forgive me. Maybe we'll make it a mission later on in this game when we've played a bit more to try and get George actually winning a game of cards and playing properly and being smart and thinking it through. A draw point. This is where you can get some magic. Excuse me. Maybe this is actually a good time to talk about the junction system, because in order to draw magic from the, we can get some magic spells from this little purple animated thing here, but we need to first create the ability in ourselves to use magic, and we do that by equipping a guardian force and using the junction system. So right now the junction menu opens up and it's pretty much all greyed out because we can't do anything until we equip a guardian force or sort of pair one of those monsters to Squall. I shouldn't call them monsters because they're sort of on our side, so creatures or whatever they're called. Guardian forces is what they're called officially. So what we do is we're going to junction a GF, and whenever I've played this game I've always junctioned Shiva to Squall as a sort of partner. I don't know why. So that's what I'm going to do, and I'm going to leave Quetzalcoatl for the moment for Quistis, because we're going to use... Oh, maybe that's why Quistis Quetzalcoatl and Squall Shiva. Maybe it's just a plain old lettering thing. So anyway, now Squall has a guardian force equipped, and we are able to junction magic. Junction just sort of means divert or attach in the context of this game, and it means you can use your magic spells once you've collected them to attach to and enhance your attributes various, and I think also your elemental attack and defense, your status attack and this sort of protect you against sleeping spells and all this sort of stuff. So just ways of managing your character's powers and attributes and stuff by using magic that you collect. I think it's quite neat, but a lot of people, I think, thought it was a bit rubbish in this game, a bit fiddly and silly. Anyway, you can also junction abilities, and this is where we're going to junction draw, in order to be able to draw the magic from that draw point or from enemies when we face some monsters in a moment. We'll come back and junction some other abilities in a minute, but let's just for now do draw, and we'll be able now to draw cure from this draw point. We'll get anywhere between sort of 1 and 9 spells, and then the draw point will go grey for a bit and we won't be able to use it again. So we'll come back and use that again later. But now we've got 3 cure spells, and we can go back into the junction menu and junction magic to Spra, I think is like a spirit or whatever, and it means your sort of magic defense, I think. And if we junction those 3 cures to it, actually nothing changes because 3 isn't very many and cures aren't very powerful, and etc. But anyway, as we collect more cures we might see that number go up, but for now it's just as it is. So while we're here, let's set our abilities. I tend to do these in a particular sort of order as well, just for ease of access in battle, because we're going to use these abilities in battles. We're going to have a little menu come up and we're either going to attack, we're going to use magic, we're going to summon a guardian force, or we're going to draw more magic from an opponent. We've only got these 3 slots to elect to add or junction abilities to. So at the moment, we're going to have to leave out item and allow another member of our party, Quistis, in a moment, to use items on our behalf, but that's that. And then there's these 2 slots, and I think you can increase the number later in the game, where you can junction different special abilities that you gain through leveling up the Guardian forces, I believe. And it's all quite good fun, little character development stuff beyond just, you know, fight, gain EXP, experience points, level up, etc. There's also this kind of way that you can drive and choose the design and direction of your character's development. So we'll do that as we go along. And you can all tell me I'm doing it wrong, because I will, definitely. So, onwards, out we go. Lovely environment. Sort of greenery and water, and now we're at the front gate, and look at that enormous gargoyle. I've never really noticed that before. Lovely. Right, there's Quistis. I have a few things to explain before we head off. Oh, good, okay. I'm glad I didn't look at the tutorials. Guardian forces give us strength. The stronger the GF, the stronger we become. So here's a brief explanation. Oh, I've just done that. Sorry, everyone. Quistis is going to do it now as well. She might get it right. Junction tutorial. Junction enables characters to power up and use abilities. This means a GF must be junctioned in order to power up and use abilities. Let's begin by junctioning a GF. Yeah, cool. So far I was correct. Right now, no GF is junctioned. All other commands in grey cannot be selected yet. Once junction is selected, the GF and magic commands appear. Since no GF is junctioned, magic is displayed in grey. Let's junction a GF. I wonder if people just found this a bit sort of convoluted. It wasn't very intuitive or whatever when this game first came out. I imagine it was relatively sort of newly thought through way of running these kinds of things. So maybe people just found it too much. By selecting GF, a GF list appears, including one that we don't have yet. That's interesting. Press square to see abilities possessed by a GF. Oh, I didn't do that, did I? The abilities are HP junction, vitality junction, etc. Let's choose a GF. When GF Quetzalcoatl is selected, its abilities, HP junction and vitality junction, make the stats HP and vitality appear in white. Yeah, so this is what I was talking about. You're able now to junction magic to those stats. But since there is currently no magic, we will move on to setting abilities. There are 3 command abilities and 2 non-command abilities for characters and party. Those are things that just apply to your character and you don't choose to use them in battle, they're just there. So you get like boost of your magic power by 20 or whatever. A total of 5 abilities can be set. Depending on the GF's abilities, the maximum is 4 non-command abilities. This means that up to 7 abilities can be set. Let's set some abilities. First, select a slot. The top window is for command abilities used during battle. The bottom window is for character and party abilities. Selecting the top window displays command abilities. And selecting the bottom window displays character and party abilities. Since there is currently no magic, let's set the command ability draw to get some magic. When an empty slot is chosen, the cursor moves to the right. Select draw to set the command draw. This is how command abilities used during battle are set. Let's add GF and item to the list of command abilities. Yeah, GF and item. Now GF and item are set. Let's set a non-command ability. By moving the cursor down, a character ability is displayed. Now to set magic plus 20, select an empty slot and select magic plus 20%. Magic plus 20% is now set. Abilities have now been set. Yes, absolutely. Thank you. This concludes the tutorial. Thank you and good luck. I feel like that part was developed completely separately from the game. Everything okay up till now was a sort of tack on afterwards, I reckon, a little tutorial handled by an intern at the end of the process. because it was a completely different voice and it didn't flow at all. Everything okay up till now? You can always check back by accessing tutorial from the menu. Cool. Once we get to the fire cavern, I'll explain how to junction magic. Use the command draw during battle and stock magic from your enemies. Be sure to have some stocked, I jolly well will. Ready to go. The fire cavern used for the test is located east of here. I am ready to go, Quistis, thank you. And let's just amuse ourselves for a second with the... Oh, no, hold on. You forgot something? Okay, I'll be waiting right here for it. No, I was sorry. I was trying to show the viewers at home the funny thing where you follow me around and it sort of looks all goofy. There you go. Just get that out of the way because it's a fun little feature of this game. The characters in your party just trot along behind you following whatever path you followed for no good reason. And when you get 3 people in the party, it's even funnier because it's like you've got a great big long tail to wag. There you go, just little things that amuse me. So here we are now, out on the world map type bit. I wonder if we can actually, yeah, I'm pressing select on the little controller here now, and we're getting different versions of the map in the bottom corner. And as you can see, it's a nice big world with lots to explore. We're going to get there eventually, but for now, it is just Balam Garden and Balam Island that we're going to look at. That's Balam Town, just to the west. But now we're going east to the fire cavern, so that's off in this direction. And as soon as we leave the path, we are in danger of... Look, there's the fire cavern, it's not very far. We're in danger of running into a battle. Look at that. Random encounter battle against some sort of beastie. 3 sort of beasties. So here we are. Now, I'm just going to pause it because although it is a sort of turn-based battle system, there is also a sort of time element to it where if you dawdle, then you they can get their turn sooner or whatever. Their little bar fills up while you're dawdling. So I think I need to be quick during battles, or maybe I can change that setting in the menus. Never mind. Squall, you still remember? The R1 is the trigger. Oh yeah, I've got this gun blade. Pull it just as you strike. Same for the Renzo Kuken. That's my special limit break ability. So, Quistis, attack. I forgot to junction anything to her before we started, so she's just on her own. So I'm going to press R1 just as I strike. Oh, I failed that time. My timing was off, but I do more damage if I time my attack right, because I've got the absolutely absurd gun blade, which is both a giant sword and a rifle or a pistol or whatever. There I go, I got it that time. I've got an explosion and additional damage. So I'm going to get rid of 2 of these, and then I'm going to draw magic from the 3rd once I've reduced the party's ability to damage us. Once there's only 1 left to attack, because it doesn't make any difference to us if we draw from 1 or 3 of them. We can only draw from 1 at a time. But if there are 3 attacking us while we draw, received 3 fires. Cool. And can I skip Quistis's turn? Yes, I can. To see what the other thing is that we might want to draw before deading this monster. Received 4 scans. Oh, right, this is, yeah, okay. Scan is where you can sort of check up on the beastie. So I'm going to do that. In fact, I'm going to use one right now. Scan. Just for fun. To find out, for example, the name and remaining health points and elemental weaknesses of this foe. Bite Bug, a bug monster that flies. Stay calm and attack precisely. It's not a very strong enemy. Fine. So it's a flying thing. It's weak against ice and wind. Level 8 HP, 56 left of 154. So yeah, not very powerful. And at the top there you can see some stat bars that barely get started. So it's got some evasion because it's a sort of flitty, flyy sort of thing, but fine. Cool. How do I get out of this? Do I press triangle? Twice. Yeah, there we go. Good stuff. And I'm going to need to hit it once more. Let's get this sucker. I got overexcited for a moment. I said sucker. Like I was in some sort of action movie. Very exciting. Look at that background. Phenomenal. Get some EXP, experience points. And, ooh, the GF, Guardian Forces, received 3 AP. I think that's attribute points, whatever. They're leveling up too, is the thing. So, our first battle. Do we feel good about it? I think it went well. Let's junction to Quistis, the GF Quetzalcoatl. And now we can... oh, she doesn't have any magic yet, but we can transfer magic between characters, so we might do that. We need her to be able to use items. We need GF, and we need draw, because we're going to draw much more magic and get really powerful. Oh, and you can save when you're on the world map, so let's just do that for the sake of fun as well. And 50 minutes played already. Goodness gracious. We're going to take a break very soon, perhaps once we reach the fire cavern, and come back next time. But first, let's go into these woods and see if we can encounter another type of beastie. Ah, there it is, the Caterpillar, whose card we lost earlier on. I hope to win another back, but first I'm going to draw whatever this is, and some cure as well. 3 thunders. Ooh, interesting. Let's build up some thunder elemental magic. So our little bars charge up. Oh, not quickly enough, because old Caterpillar gave us a good bashing with its chunky tail. Just draw a bit of magic. This is one of the things at the beginning of the game that's a bit boring, so I might do a bit of this off video, but you want to stock up on all this magic nice and early so that you can junction it to stuff and make yourself nice and powerful. Let's do one more round of draw before we finish our fiendish foe. So, yeah, I like these little arenas you get for the battle as well, all different sort of environments that give you a different feel. And they're not super complex, obviously. There's about 350 pixels on screen total right now, but they look good. They give you a feeling, don't they? Oh, good one, Quistis. That was, whatever, a critical hit. You get occasionally just a random lucky shot. And a little triumphant fanfare at the end. The music is just so good in this game. So, here we go. Getting close to levelling up, both of us. Ooh, spider web. Quistis can learn blue magic, ultra waves. I think this is her limit break attack. Each character, when they get sort of low on health, they can do a sort of desperate, super powerful attack. And Quistis is called blue magic, and she can learn various different special spells like ultra waves by finding different objects in the world, items. Guardian Forces received 2 AP. Good, good, good. So let's give Quistis that ability, and let's also junction some magic to her. And then I think we're going to take a break and come back next time. So, item. Oh, look, we've got some stuff already to save us if we need it, so that's good to know. Spider web. Quistis can learn blue magic, ultra waves. There she goes. She learned ultra waves. It was as simple as that. And now she's that much more powerful. And we were going to, yeah, junction a bit of magic, weren't we? So junction magic to magic. And again, we haven't got enough of either of these to actually make it go up a point, but maybe we will soon. In fact, we might very soon if I give all of Squall's thunder to Quistis. I'm going to take all. And now she's got 11, and let's just check whether that does the trick. Yeah, I think it did, didn't it? That was on a lower... Yeah. Oh, yeah, so it's 6 with nothing attached, and it goes up to 7 with 11 thunders attached, so that's good, isn't it? We've made some progress. And with that said, I'm going to save, and we'll come back next time. Thanks very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. I certainly have. Just a nice chill time playing video games. What more could we want from our lives? Until next time, come back in a few days. I'll have another one. Looking forward to it. See you then.